What's up, everyone, and welcome to another one. It's update video 3 today. It's that time of the week, and I'll be talking about what has been going on, what is going on, and what's gonna be going on for the next week. Upcoming crafts that I'm currently working on, things that I'm doing, just overall stuff, you know. Standing here with my man Duck, and here with my man Duck number 2. I want to talk about some strategies that I've been doing today, or like for the past weekish, that have seemed to be working out quite well. Yeah, so let's get into what I've been doing. Now, of course, harvest is going away. About 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, so that has been going on, you know, harvest. And if we look in my crafting tab here, some stuff has changed, some stuff has not changed. I think over here, some new stuff. The boots are getting along quite nicely. Last time I think I was actually showing a clip where I was Maven orbing them. Now I'm divining the crit elusive effect there. I don't know what that is, but yeah. Slowly getting them to the point where they are done and to the best state that they can possibly be in. Okay, so let's start with today because that's freshly in my mind. I got tier 1 life on my Nemesis slippers, which are pretty much a weaker version of these plague paste boots. These have elevated poison, elevated faster poison. These do not, however, that's the only thing that they don't have. I'll be removing the cold res and just put on a random mastercraft. Other than that, the jewels are still doing their thing. You know, I'm getting a couple more crypt multi-jewels every day just from doing harvest, so I'm pretty sure in 3 weeks from now I'll be ending my harvesting with probably a couple of jewels left, because simply I don't have time, you know, they just keep more appear every time I finish one, so so that's where they stand. Yeah, so I made this, I don't know if this was in the last video, but slowly working on that, just making okay glove. I still haven't quite decided whether I want to Maven orb this into just to get rid of the increased damage over time. Yeah, still kind of contemplating. It would be cool, would look really pretty. Anyway, let's go into some more interesting stuff. Let me take out this and this and these 3 here, or these 2. So first off, I'm making a new amulet for Duck. He's gonna be getting a legacy crit multi malevolence reservation, +1 dex skills life, and then I will be crafting on chaos dot multiplier as a suffix, and I'll finish it up with a AoE craft through the bench. And that multi is going to be very strong for perfect agony. It's going to give me about 35% or 34.5, let's say 34% dot multiplier, so that's very good. Yeah, I'll be losing out on the +1 to physical gems, which is a hit on the blade vortex, but overall it's a damage upgrade. Plus I get some AoE for it, which is nice for the explodes. So all in all, pretty cool crafting coming there. Here is my current beauty. This one, I was actually working on this one first, and I just wanted to have a hatred reserve amulet before, while I still could, because obviously hatred is strong, works well with crit multi, whether you're stacking flat cold damage or physical damage, and then still using hatred, so it's just good overall. This one I'm going to be finishing as hopefully tier 1 wed. Get back to that in a minute on how I'm looking to approach that, because obviously doing the remove add attack is going to be taking a very long time. Okay, so while I was doing this one, I was like, okay, now I have the generic hatred one. Let's move over and make a one for poison BV. Why not? I started looking at Craft of X. I was like, does any other influence have anything relevant to suffixes? And I saw Malevolence. I was like, you know what? Let's make a poison BV one. And then when I recalled the item, I think I hit mana regen. Not only did I hit mana regen, I hit top roll tier 1. And usually top roll doesn't really matter, because you can just divine it. However, because it's Legacy Crit Multi, if you divine it, you ruin it. Legacy Crit Multi goes back to 35 to 38. So here I have a 69 Crit Multi, 69 mana regen, 5% reserve, amulet, and I've been working a little bit on it. Been kind of like wondering what I want to do with it. At the moment it stands with Cold Pen and Fizz is extra cold. However, the Fizz is extra cold was not intended, so that's probably going away. Instead I'm looking to add +1 to all cold gems and make some sort of Icicle Mine amulet. As for a last prefix, again I'm going for Mastercraft, because Mastercrafts are just so versatile, and I think the projectile speed is really decent to have on there. Don't really care too much about having life on there. Really cool amulet, given that Berserk does not get nerfed. That's kind of a big if, because there is a decent chance it will. So that's some bad boys that I've been working on. I'm very happy with them. And before I'll get into any tech, I'm going to show you a little bit more, including these ones that I have here. Here is a Onslaught Quantering that I hit last Friday. I synthesized it for Onslaught, so that's very good. And I slapped it for tier 2 wed earlier today, which for this eye level is the highest tier of wed possible. Anyway, I'll explain how I got the wed again in a second, because it's the same strategy as I'm about to apply to this Phoenix Rosary over here. Now, these wands are also a thing that I've been working on, because I needed something to use my prefix fracture on. So here are some wands. This one in particular has tier 2 attack speed and cast speed, which I can divine if I would want to. On top of that, as last crafted mod, I'll be using a trigger socketed spells when you use a skill, which is really nice for desecrate, stuff like that. These ones go for probably about 2 to 400x, depending a little bit on what the suffixes are. They're not that expensive at all to make, so here I have another one for fracture prefix in the making. And here I have one that I'm currently working on, applying the same technique as I will be doing on these two. So yeah, let's talk about that. So on my bench I have a lot of REFORGES. These are normally quite shit, and I'm not gonna be denying that. However, there is a use for these, believe it or not, and the use is so good that you're gonna regret every single time you've skipped out on REFORGES. So the idea is that a REFORGE is technically an augment. It says REFORGE rare with new random modifiers, including a cold modifier. Now let's just stop it there and look at what that actually means. That means that when you apply this craft, you will guarantee a cold modifier. What else guarantees a cold modifier? You're right, augment cold. So they have the same sort of effect. This adds a cold modifier to your item. Augment cold also adds a cold modifier. Now you're like, yeah, but Kaom, my entire fucking item goes to shit. No, Here's the thing. So, for this amulet in particular, I use this technique. And what you want to do, now in this case I cannot do it because it has a open suffix. I would need to block that first. But you want to craft suffixes, cannot be changed. And then you want to use the reforge. It will preserve the suffixes and instead give you prefixes, including the cold modifier. The downside of this is that you cannot block an attack modifier, so when you do get the attack modifier, there's a high likelihood of it being cold damage to attacks. Let's read a little bit more on this mod. Cold modifiers are more common. I personally don't quite know what the weighting of more common means, but this means that it's potentially even 2 or 3 augments in one. There's a chance. Now, why would you use this over just augmenting cold? Now, for this amulet, I will go ahead and say that it's probably not quite the waste of time, because if we look at Craft of Exile, let me just open and get a Craft of Exile going here. So, if we go to jewelry and, not jewels, my bad. If we go to jewelry and amulets in particular, and we're gonna say, yes, it has Redeemer influence. There. Right, so we're exalting this, because technically a reforge in this case is also considered an exalt, because we are guaranteeing that one cold modifier. We are augmenting it with a cold mod, and we have an open prefix. The mod we're trying to hit, in my case at least, was cold penetration tier 1. So that's a 1 in 28. Now keep that number in mind. So I'm just gonna put it here on a calculator on the side. Now, that is the odds of you hitting tier 1 cold damage penetration if you block suffixes and you reforge, including a cold modifier. Now, most likely it's a little bit less, because you're probably gonna have times where you're gonna get 2 prefixes, and because it's more common to get cold modifiers, you might get 2 cold modifiers. Now, of course, most of the time you're gonna end up hitting this mod or higher. That is, let me just add only this. Half the times, you are likely to hit cold damage to attacks. Now, keep that 28 in mind. Now, imagine you are using a augment cold, in which case you can actually block this mod. This means that you cannot roll it. And now you're looking for this. It is now a open guaranteed prefix, 1 in 11. So it's 28 versus 11. So, to apply a reforge, including cold modifiers, with a guaranteed cold modifier, it's 2 exalts, because they're free. There's plenty of them in your harvest. You're skipping them probably as we speak. So there's plenty of them. They're considered free. However, you still have to craft. Suffix is going to be changed, which is 2 exalts. Now let's divide this 28 by 11. We're going to get 2.5. We're going to multiply 2.5 with the cost that it takes for you to craft suffixes cannot be changed. So that's 2 exalts. That means it's going to cost you 5 exalt per remove add. Right? Now, if we multiply that by 11, which is the amount that it's, or one augment or remove add cold, or augment cold, you're looking at roughly the same price. Now, the augment cold is going to be a little bit cheaper, but then you have to also remove the cold again, which is going to be probably 1 or 2 exalts. You're going to augment it again for 3 exalts. You're looking at 5 exalts either way. So the cost of you eventually hitting this penetration modifier, because already in the equation we are calculating the 28 divided by 11, giving us a factor of how many you have to hit to get the same effect of an augment, it's roughly gonna cost you the exact same. And then it's up to you to judge what's gonna be faster. Picking up your REFORGES, including cold modifiers in your map, or buying remove add colds, where you have to use them separately because you have to block your attack every time. So you have to buy a total, in this case, if you're hitting the average, of 22 crafts, 11 augments, 11 removes, or 22 reforge with cold modifiers. I found this way more efficient to do, and you can do it more. It's more up to you yourself to do it. You don't really rely too much on others, so I really liked this method. That's what I've been doing for this, and that's what I'm gonna be doing on this eventually too. Now, there's one thing that is bad with this, and that is you cannot in any way ever, unless you do a very stupid thing, but I'm not even gonna mention that, you're never gonna be able to block from using attack or from getting attack modifiers. So it just happens to be that the cold damage to attacks is very dominant when it comes to the weighting. But even then, it is going to cost you roughly the same amount, and it's probably going to save you time. So that's it for that one. Now I want to move over to this one, which I did the exact same thing. However, with this, as you can see, I blocked my suffix with a Chaos Res roll. I applied suffix is going to be changed, and then instead of using the cold one, I used a Reforger Rare with including an attack modifier. Attack modifiers are more common. What that made me be able to do is that I could easily get my wed, in this case, elemental damage to attacks, and this is the tier 1 mod that I could possibly hit, because it's only eye level 77. And I actually got this for way cheaper than it would ever cost me to do remove add attack. This method will flaw the moment I have to now get another mod. It works for the first mod, but not for the second mod. But getting the first and hardest mod out of the way is very easy by doing this. Another example is going to be this wand. So, as far as this wand goes, it is made by using fossils, a fossil combo of metallic, jagged, corroded, and shuddering. 1 and 12 to hit double +1. Then I craft prefix gonna be changed, and I reforge it using caster modifiers. Now, if I do that, as you can see here, I even have the craft still on, so this one is ready to go again because it didn't hit tier 2 or tier 1. I can reforge, including a caster modifier, and caster modifiers are more common. This wand just happens to be done the moment it hits tier 2, and it's a 200-300x wand. The money that I throw on this is very little compared to what I would do if I would be doing augment caster or augment attack or any other method. So this is actually a really useful way for you to get the most out of your harvest, because these crafts are usually the ones that you would toss away. There is another version of this which stops right after this dot here. It doesn't have the rest of it. I would say that one is slightly weaker, but it's still somewhat worth using. It's a free augment. Yeah, these are very strong and they're very underrated, and I think you should use them. So that's how I've been crafting a lot of my items. If you want to hit tier 1 life, for example, with the current prices of life crafts, what you can actually do, and I've been doing myself, is that if I want to hit, for example, this is a great example. If I want to hit tier 1 life on this, I would craft suffix gonna be changed, and I would use this reforge again. However, with life, no one ever uses that craft. No one. And with that, I found a success of hitting 3 tier 1 lives on 2 amulets and 1 ring within 15 exalts worth of crafting. 15 exalts will get you about 1.4 remove add lives, and I hit 3 tier 1 life rolls within that. It's very strong. So that's one of the strategies I've been using, and if you've been checking out my stream, then you've probably also seen, I'm not sure where this was. I'll just put that there for now. You may have also seen that I have a lot of wisdom scrolls scattered around this area here. And the reason to that is because it tells me what I need to go for. So if I go into my harvest and I have a lot of stuff to work on, you tend to forget what you're working on, what exactly you're doing. What you can do, except for these items, because I constantly have to go over to my crafting bench to either craft suffix is going to be changed, or I have to craft prefix is going to be changed. That's why I keep those in my inventory. But these help me remembering what I need. And if I go into my harvest and I type, okay, I need keeping suffixes. That tells me that there's an item here that needs keeping suffixes, which hopefully it should, yeah. Here as well, now this one is already pretty much done, so that one goes over there, and that one goes back into the pile of wisdoms. Just like that. But that's a very easy way for you to remember what you need on different items. You place a wisdom scroll or any item, what doesn't matter, but you place it next to the item that you're looking to craft on. And it helps you keep track of your crafts, because it can be quite a mess eventually. So that's another thing. It's just a little life hack I've been doing. It's not some super secret tech or something, but it helps me, and I'm sure it can help you as well. Yeah, so other than that, I have not really been working on anything in particular. I'm just doing me, crafting some amulets, and basically just spending time until next league. I've been doing some practice runs as far as next league goes. I'm looking at I think I'm currently doing 1.5 hours to finish first labyrinth, which I'm pretty happy with. I don't think I'm gonna bother to level too much more. I don't have to be that fast. I think it's good enough like that. Yeah, so that's about it. That's the update for now. I'll be crafting more on these items, and I'll be doing it live on stream. So if you want to check that out, you can check me out Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central European time, and I'll be live until roughly about 8 in the evening. So shooting for about 9 hours, and other than that, you can expect a video at least every Monday. And if I have some extra crafting videos of stuff that I'm working on, I'll be posting on YouTube of interesting crafts, because following crafts like this is really hard, because a lot of times they're traded to other people and then I don't have footage of the craft and stuff like that. So that's of course a little bit hard to have footage of. Yeah, so if I have something relevant, I'll be posting it. Make sure to subscribe to stay updated to my content. Completely free, and it will help me out a bunch. Leave a comment, help me with the YouTube algorithm. Let's defeat the YouTube algorithm, and I'll be back again on maybe a little bit later this week for a crafting video. Otherwise, you'll hear from me again on Monday, the upcoming Monday. Of course, you can check me out live, like I said. I'll be streaming 5 days a week, so I hope to see you guys there. Link to that is in the description. So yeah, that's about it. That's it for what I'm doing. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll hopefully see you guys at some point. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. Kaoms out.